The storm howled across Frost Haven's surface like a wounded animal, but Dr. Maya Torres barely noticed it anymore. After 6 months on this ice planet, the constant wind had become white noise, background music to her daily routine of collecting samples and analyzing data. The research station's sensors had picked up something unusual 3 days ago. Energy readings that defied explanation, buried deep within the planet's ice caves. Maya adjusted her thermal suit's settings as she trudged through the snow. The station director had advised against this expedition, citing safety protocols and budget constraints, but Maya knew this was different. The energy signature pulsed with a rhythm that seemed almost alive. The cave entrance loomed before her, a jagged tear in the white landscape. Her helmet lights illuminated crystalline formations that seemed to glow from within, refracting light in impossible patterns. The energy readings grew stronger as she ventured deeper, her scanner's quiet beeping increasing in frequency. Then she saw it. In a vast chamber of ice and crystal, a creature lay curled in what appeared to be hibernation. It was massive, easily twice the size of an earth wolf, but its form defied terrestrial classification. Its body seemed to be made of living crystal, with patterns of light flowing beneath its translucent surface, like blood through veins. But the patterns were weak, flickering like a dying star. Maya's breath caught in her throat. After 15 years of xenobiology research, she had never encountered anything like this. The creature's structure suggested it was artificial, yet it radiated life in a way no machine could. As she approached, her scanner's readings went haywire, displaying patterns that contradicted every known law of biology. The being's eyes opened slowly, pools of swirling aurora that fixed upon Maya with unmistakable intelligence. It made no sound, but Maya felt something brush against her mind, a sensation of weakness and pain that nearly brought her to her knees. "You're dying," she whispered, the realization hitting her like a physical blow. The creature's crystalline form was degrading, its internal light dimming. Whatever powered this magnificent being was failing. Maya's hand moved to her comm unit, then stopped. The corporation that funded their research would want to quarantine the creature, study it, probably destroy it in the process. This wasn't just another specimen. This was a sentient being asking for help. The creature's aurora eyes remained fixed on her as she made her decision. Maya knelt in the snow beside the massive crystalline head. "I don't know what you are," she said softly, "but I'm going to help you. Somehow." The light patterns within the creature's form pulsed once, weakly, and Maya felt another touch against her mind, this time carrying a sensation of gratitude and hope. She began unpacking her sampling kit with trembling hands. The storm above grew stronger, but in that moment, Maya knew she had stumbled upon something that would change not just her life, but humanity's understanding of life itself. The real challenge would be keeping this discovery secret long enough to save the creature's life. As if reading her thoughts, the crystalline being's eyes flickered with a hint of brighter light. Maya smiled behind her helmet visor. "Let's see what we can learn about each other," she said, carefully extending a scanner toward the creature's shimmering form. "You just have to trust me." The cave fell silent except for the quiet hum of Maya's equipment and the pulsing light of the Guardian's crystalline body. Outside, the storm raged on, but within that hidden chamber, two beings from vastly different origins began to forge a bond that would reshape their understanding of life, consciousness, and the very nature of existence itself. The security chief's expression was unreadable behind his thermal suit's visor. "The corporation is concerned about your recent activity. Multiple solo expeditions, unusual equipment requisitions, power fluctuations in this sector. I'm conducting detailed geological surveys," Maya replied, keeping her voice steady. "The crystal formations here are unlike anything we've seen. They could have significant industrial applications." Reed's helmet tilted slightly. "Funny you should mention that. Corporate just sent a specialist team to investigate some unusual energy readings in this area. They'll be here within the week." Maya's blood ran cold, but she maintained her composure. "I'll be happy to share my findings with them." See that you do. Reed turned to leave, then paused. Oh, and Dr. Torres. The corporation doesn't look kindly on unauthorized experiments. Whatever you're doing out here, make sure it's worth the risk. After Reed's departure, Maya rushed back to Aurora. The Guardian's eyes pulsed with concern. It had sensed her distress. We don't have much time, Maya said, running her hands over her equipment. If they find you. She felt Aurora's response, a complex mixture of fear, determination, and something else, a sense of ancient purpose that Maya couldn't quite grasp. Maya made a decision. I need to understand what you are, what you're meant to do, and I need to do it before they get here. She pulled out her most sophisticated scanner, one she'd modified specifically for studying Aurora's unique energy patterns. Show me, please. Aurora's crystalline form began to pulse with a stronger light. The mental contact deepened, and suddenly Maya's mind was flooded with images, a vast network of guardians, each maintaining the balance of their assigned worlds. She saw how they drew power from planetary cores, regulated climates, preserved ecosystems. But something had gone wrong. The network had begun to fail, and one by one, the guardians had fallen into dormancy. When the vision ended, Maya sat in stunned silence. You're not just a living being, she whispered. You're part of a planetary maintenance system. And if you die... Her scanner beeped, drawing her attention to new data. The degradation in Aurora's crystalline structure wasn't just decay. It was a response to the planet's own failing systems. They were linked, guardian and world, in a cycle of decline. Maya's mind raced with implications. The corporation wouldn't just want to study Aurora. They'd want to exploit this technology, this connection to planetary energy. And they wouldn't care if they destroyed both Guardian and planet in the process. I won't let that happen, she said firmly, feeling Aurora's gratitude wash over her. But we need help. There must be others at the station who would understand what's at stake. As if in response, Aurora's light patterns shifted, forming what looked like a map in the air before them. Maya gasped as she recognized the layout. It showed other chambers, other guardians, scattered across the planet's surface. There are more of you, she breathed. And if we can wake them. She felt Aurora's affirmation, along with a sense of urgency. The specialist team would arrive in a week, but maybe that was enough time. Maybe, just maybe, they could save not just one guardian, but an entire world. Maya began packing her most essential equipment. They would need to move quickly, stay ahead of Reed's surveillance. But first, she needed allies. She thought of Dr. Kai Zhang in climatology, Dr. Aisha Patil in energy systems, scientists who might understand, who might help. As she worked, Aurora's light pulsed steadily stronger, and Maya felt the Guardian's consciousness merge more deeply with her own. They were no longer just researcher and subject, but partners in something far greater than either had imagined. The real question was, could they accomplish their goal before the corporation uncovered their secret? The real challenge would be keeping this discovery secret long enough to save the creature's life. As if reading her thoughts, the crystalline being's eyes flickered with a hint of brighter light. Maya smiled behind her helmet visor. Let's see what we can learn about each other, she said, carefully extending a scanner toward the creature's shimmering form. You just have to trust me. The cave fell silent except for the quiet hum of Maya's equipment and the pulsing light of the Guardian's crystalline body. Outside, the storm raged on, but within that hidden chamber, two beings from vastly different origins began to forge a bond that would reshape their understanding of life, consciousness, and the very nature of existence itself. There's more, Maya said, taking a deep breath. I need to show you something, but we have to move now. The corporate team arrives in 3 days. The journey to Aurora's cave was tense. Maya had disabled the tracking devices in their suits, another protocol violation that could cost them their careers. But as they entered the crystalline chamber and saw Aurora's luminescent form, she knew it was worth the risk. Aurora's consciousness touched all 3 scientists at once, sharing the full truth of the Guardian network. Aisha gasped, steadying herself against a crystal formation, while Kai stood transfixed by the living light display before them. Incredible, Kai breathed. The Guardians don't just maintain the planet's systems, they're connected to the planet's very core, channeling and directing its energy. And the corporation wants to weaponize this technology, Aisha added grimly. They'll destroy everything trying to control it. Maya nodded. Which is why we need to wake the others. Aurora's shown me where they are, but we'll need help reaching them. The degradation is too far advanced for them to wake on their own. Over the next hours, they formulated a plan. Kai's climate models could help predict the best time to attempt reactivation, while Aisha's expertise in energy systems would be crucial for understanding how to safely power up the dormant Guardians. But as they worked, Aurora shared something new, a warning. Through their strengthened mental connection, Maya saw images of other worlds where corporate interference had led to catastrophe. The Guardians weren't just maintenance systems. They were protectors, created by an ancient civilization that had learned the hard way about the dangers of exploiting planetary resources. The corporation's not just after energy production, Maya realized aloud. If they crack the Guardian technology, they could control entire worlds. A sudden alert from their perimeter sensors interrupted their work. Multiple vehicles were approaching, heavy equipment by the sound of it. They're early, Aisha said, checking her tablet. The specialist team wasn't due for 3 more days. Through their mental link, Aurora conveyed urgent information. Images of a dormant Guardian in a nearby cave system, one that might still be strong enough to help. But reaching it would mean traversing exposed terrain, right in the path of the approaching corporate team. We have to try, Maya insisted. With 2 active Guardians, we might have a chance of jump-starting the entire network before they can stop us. Kai quickly pulled up a topographical map. There's a series of ice tunnels that might get us there. Unstable, but the corporation wouldn't risk their equipment following us through. Maya felt Aurora's consciousness brush against hers, conveying both approval and concern. The Guardian was still weak, but its energy patterns had stabilized enough for limited movement. Aurora can make it, Maya assured her colleagues, but we'll need to move fast and stay synchronized. One wrong step in those tunnels could bring the whole system down on us. As they began their hurried preparations, Maya caught a glimpse of vehicle lights through the cave's entrance. Time was running out, but they had one advantage. The corporation had no idea what they were really dealing with. They were expecting to find an energy source to exploit, not a living network of planetary Guardians. Aisha finished packing their essential equipment while Kai programmed a false trail of energy signatures to lead the corporate team in the wrong direction. Aurora's crystalline form began to shift, preparing for movement for the first time in centuries. Maya felt the weight of history pressing down on them. They weren't just trying to save one creature or even one planet. They were racing to protect an ancient system of planetary protection from those who would destroy it in the name of profit. Ready? She asked, looking at her companions, human and Guardian alike. Aurora's eyes pulsed with determination, and Maya felt the Guardian's conviction merge with her own. Whatever happened next, they would face it together, a union of human ingenuity and ancient wisdom, standing against the forces that threaten to unbalance not just this world, but countless others. The real challenge would be keeping this discovery secret long enough to save the creature's life. As if reading her thoughts, the crystalline being's eyes flickered with a hint of brighter light. Maya smiled behind her helmet visor. "Let's see what we can learn about each other," she said, carefully extending a scanner toward the creature's shimmering form. "You just have to trust me." The corporate security team stood frozen at the chamber entrance, their weapons trained on an impossible sight. 2 ancient Guardians towered before them, their crystalline bodies radiating power that made the very air crackle with energy. Between them stood Maya, Aisha, and Kai, their faces illuminated by the pulsing light of the awakened beings. Dr. Reed pushed through his stunned team, his expression hardening as he assessed the situation. "Dr. Torres, you have no idea what you're interfering with," This is far bigger than your environmental concerns. Maya felt the combined consciousness of both guardians flowing through her mind, showing her visions of worlds saved and worlds lost. No, Dr. Reed, you don't understand what you're dealing with. These beings aren't resources to be exploited. They're part of a system that's kept planets alive for millions of years. A system we could control, Reed countered. Think of the possibilities. Planetary terraforming, weather control, energy production on a scale we've never imagined. Aurora's light pulsed with ancient memory, and Maya saw civilizations that had tried exactly that, and the catastrophic results of their hubris. The second guardian, whom Maya now sensed was called Nova, shared visions of entire worlds torn apart by attempts to harness their power. Aisha stepped forward, her voice steady. The guardians aren't tools to be controlled. They're living beings connected to the very core of this planet. What you're proposing would destroy them and Frost Haven along with them. A tremor shook the chamber, stronger than any before. Kai's instruments blared warnings. The planet's core is destabilizing. The damage to the Guardian network, it's reaching a critical point. Reed raised his weapon. Then we'll take what we need before it's too late. The corporation has invested too much to walk away empty-handed. The Guardians moved in perfect synchronization, their crystalline forms creating a protective barrier around the three scientists. Through their shared connection, Maya felt their plan forming, not one of destruction, but of demonstration. Aurora and Nova began to pulse with increasing intensity, their light penetrating the very ice around them. The chamber walls became transparent, revealing layer upon layer of crystalline structures extending deep into the planet. Each crystal began to glow, forming a vast network that had laid dormant for centuries. "My God," someone whispered. The corporate team lowered their weapons, awestruck by the display. Maya felt the Guardians' power flow through her as they shared their truth, not in words, but in pure understanding. Everyone in the chamber experienced it. The delicate balance of planetary forces, the intricate dance of energy that sustained life itself, and the devastating consequences of disrupting that balance. They saw worlds that had been destroyed by attempts to control Guardian technology, and worlds that had flourished under their protection. They felt the weight of eons, the patient wisdom of beings who thought in centuries rather than moments. Reed staggered back, his weapon clattering to the ground. "This is impossible. The corporation. They'll never believe." "They don't have to," Kai said, checking his readings with amazement. "The Guardian network, it's reactivating. Not just here, but globally. The stabilization process has begun." Aisha's eyes widened as she interpreted the data. The energy signatures are changing. They're not just maintaining the planet anymore. They're teaching it to heal itself. Maya felt the truth of it through her connection with the Guardians. They had never been meant to be permanent caretakers, but guides, helping planets and civilizations learn to maintain their own balance. The corporation's interference had nearly destroyed that legacy, but now it would live on. The chamber filled with a soft, pulsing light as more crystals awakened throughout the planet. Through the transparent ice, they could see the network spreading like a web of stars, each point connecting and strengthening the whole. "Your weapons are useless here," Maya said quietly to Reed and his team. "But your understanding is essential. This is the true power of the Guardians. Not control, but cooperation. Not dominance, but harmony." The corporate team looked at each other, then at the magnificent display of power and beauty before them. One by one, they lowered their weapons completely. Reed's shoulders slumped in resignation. "The corporation will want answers. Then we'll give them something more valuable than weapons," Aisha said. "We'll show them how to work with the Guardians, not against them. Think of the advances we could make in sustainable energy, climate restoration. Real progress," Kai added, "without destruction." Through their mental link, Maya felt the Guardians' approval. Aurora and Nova's light patterns shifted, creating a display of such beauty that tears came to her eyes. They were showing her their gift to humanity. access to their knowledge, but only in ways that would preserve rather than destroy. The chamber had become a sanctuary of understanding, where human ambition met ancient wisdom and found a better path forward. Maya felt the Guardian's consciousness merge with her own one final time, sharing a vision of hope, a future where humanity learned to work in harmony with the forces that sustained their worlds, rather than trying to bend them to their will. As the crystal network pulsed with renewed life, Maya realized that this was more than just a victory. It was a beginning. The Guardians would remain on Frost Haven, not as servants or resources, but as teachers and allies. Their light would guide humanity toward a future where progress and preservation walked hand in hand. The storm above the ice caves began to calm for the first time in centuries, as Frost Haven took its first steps toward restoration. In the Chamber of Awakening, humans and Guardians stood together in the soft, pulsing light of a new dawn, not just for one world, but for all who had learned to listen to the ancient wisdom of the crystal stars.